education. We're going to start off with safety. Brian, the main thing at this point in time is wash your hands. Uh, Anytime you are outside, anytime you are not, uh, anytime, right? We're washing our hands constantly. Soap and hot water. Pick whatever song. If it now might be the right time to sing "One Shining Moment" while you wash your hands for 20 seconds. And the other thing is social distancing. How are you doing with washing your hands and social distancing?
Well, the washing of the hands has always been a big thing for me. But the social distancing, that's the unique thing, right? I mean, we've sat in cars recruiting, and how close are we sitting to other people, whether it's in the stands and whatnot. But I think in terms of safety and in terms of what I think our country's doing, the CDC is asking for, and it's really just to cover your bases so that this disease does not spread, that the virus can be contained in a sense of where it is. And I think the social distancing, the washing of the hands, and just limiting yourself from exposure. And where would you get that? Obviously, public places. Obviously, you want a safe place, maybe your car, your house, where you kind of keep those, in line with the guidelines that are being set forth. But other than that, I think this is going to be unique territory to really be unique and to keep your family safe.
Right. And that's going to kind of take us into the next one, dealing with facts. What do we know? Like I said, today is Wednesday, March 18th. Where are we getting our information? Understanding, and hopefully it's widely known at this point, you can spread this virus without symptoms. You may feel perfectly fine, and that does not give you free license to break the rules of washing your hands and social distancing. As a college coach, Brian, where are you getting your facts? Where are you getting your direction? Where do you think coaches should be looking for their information?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is obviously you always look up, right? So as an assistant coach, I'm looking at my head coach. Our head coach is getting information from our athletic director. They are getting information from probably two different sources, the NCAA, and then also our president, who has his team of advisors. Ultimately, I think that's where coaches have to stay in line, stay in their lanes, trust the information that they're getting, but also trust the instincts of where you should go for information. And I think you always look at in-house first, because there's policies and procedures that every school, whether it's college, high school, middle schools, even professional teams, right? I mean, there's an example today. The Nets yesterday had 4 players. Who did they play last? The Lakers. So the Lakers are, today testing all their athletes and bench crew. So there's a piece of information that's within the organization. I'm lucky enough to be married to an epidemiologist who worked for the CDC. She's under HHS, but she's in the United States Public Health Service. So it's interesting that there's so much going on with social media.
Mm-hmm.
Certain pieces of information that is now being looked at as truth when there's no truth about it. And I think what my wife would say, look to the CDC. That's why the CDC was formed back so many years ago, right? They are the ones who are taking lead on this. Yes, there's a political front. Yes, there's the social media and internet front. So there's all these different fronts, but if there's one piece of advice, it's look to the CDC. They have put out the facts. I think the schools and the school districts and whatever, in our industry, the sports and athletic industries, they're looking towards those things. They're not looking at other avenues of what's just out there. They're looking at the facts, and these facts are just precaution. They're warnings. Kind of to your point, in the previous section, where it's just safety. Like, how do you prevent the spread within your family? Well, here are the steps. How do we prevent the spread within our teams, within our departments and whatnot? Here are the facts.
And that brings up something that coaches have harped on forever, and it's control what you can control the controllables.
Right.
And you can control your attitude, you can control your actions, what you're doing. And if we all do our part, we're going to have a chance in this. And I think that's very important when you are getting your facts. You can't control the what ifs. You can't control the rumors and the social media. You can control, your focus and what you're listening to.
Right. And one thing that I would add is how real this is. We have all been in kind of in our silos, right? Like here's either our team, our games, our conference, our state, that whatever, high school, just your associations and all that. But this is something that has affected all industries. So it's forced us, as mad as we were. I mean, we were the lucky ones. We got through our conference tournament. So, I mean, we can't imagine what those teams are feeling, whether it's the state championships at high school level or collegiate, right? But like, we're forced to pull up a little bit to a different viewpoint. And now we're looking at how is it affecting not just our industry, but society.
Right.
And I think that's why you have to look at these facts as facts and look at the sources that are providing these facts, these hard numbers, these real numbers, because, we're all into this statistics, right? Stats are only as good as your interpretation and how you read it, so that's what I think the take home message of this is. Just, it's okay to be nervous about this and anxious, but once you start looking at the facts, you will have the roadmap and the game plan to keep your teams and your families safe.
And with those facts, I would also stress be present.
That's right. Yeah.
Worrying about what happened last week isn't going to hold a lot of value right now. Worrying about we don't know what next week's going to be like. Mm-hmm. Being present for your family, for yourself, and for your team is going to be very important right now.
And just self-awareness, right? Like, because, and here's the real thing. We were in Vegas last week, mm-hmm. and this virus presents itself on a delay, whether it's a week or two. So if you are feeling ill or sick or develop a cough, now is it a common cold? Is it this virus? And take the precautions, because you do not want it to spread as quickly as it can.